Yes, people, welcome back to the proper podcast. And yes, lift off for Dubois. A sensational weekend we had. Who knew that was going to happen? If you did know, fair dinkums to you, because we certainly fucking didn't. We called it completely wrong, but we're happy to hold our hands up and dissect it for you now. Let's get into it. Come on, how are we, chaps? You're looking well. Johnny B, how are you, bruv?
Well, look, I left the door wide open last week for one of you two melts to walk through it, but no one wanted to know, did ya? I did try to make an argument for Daniel Dubois. I gave lots of reasons of why this guy was not to be messed with, but I just was getting peppered, wasn't I? I was getting peppered at the start of that pod. I had to go back and listen to it. I was getting bullied. That's what I would say. I was even getting bullied.
Bullied?
I just
like Ben Shalom?
Let me speak in it, look. And then
Ben Shalom in the middle.
Yeah, then you can go back. All I wanted to do was just have a nice conversation about it, but you two was like, OJ. This is what you wanted to say.
AJ.
OJ.
Say what you like.
I did pick him, AJ. But I said, if Daniel, I gave all the evidence, all the receipts. I told you about Anthony Joshua, if he gets hit on the chin. I don't like the way he clinches, when he fights back when he don't need to. I come out with some of that stuff. I said about Daniel Dubois, if he rushes with that double jab, upstairs, downstairs, taking shots off Hrgovic. I said if he makes it a dogfight, I said it's going to get interesting. And you said,
we still picked AJ.
Both of you said, that's the worst thing he's going to do. He'll play straight into AJ. But I'd say I picked AJ in the end, but I was just trying to at least put some respect on Dubois' name.
John,
but you two didn't want to hear, did you?
John, I hold my hands up, bro. If I had a little white flag, I'd be waving it now. I went all in on AJ. Oh, no, I know you're disagreeing with what he said, blah, blah, blah. Fine. I'm holding my hands up to everyone. I'm holding my hands up to everyone and say I did not think Dubois stood a chance. I did not think he would do anything near what he did, but I just didn't think he had a chance, and I hold my hands up. And by the way, it don't make me an AJ fanboy. I just thought there was a level that AJ was above Dubois, but I was very fucking wrong.
All of us thought that, but we was
going.
No,
we didn't all think that.
No,
we didn't all think he was a level above.
You love asterisks, and I'll pick this geezer, but if he don't do that, then that happens, and if that happens, then this happens. That's how you do these shows. When you want real Messiah status, you got to stick to your guns, son. Like I did with Chisora.
You have lost the fucking Messiah status.
I got bullied for 45 minutes on a show, and I stuck with Chisora. Stuck with him, listening to you. Well, Joyce this, Joyce that. But no. Chisora's going to win on points. That's what you didn't do, son. You still went with AJ, so you're going to have to just swallow it now. But
hold on.
It is what it is.
Is he keeping his Messiah status? Because
of course.
Hold on a minute.
Right, okay. Guns.
Did you pick? All right, okay. Hold on. Hold the phone. Did you pick Josh Padley or Mark Chamberlain?
I will talk about the undercard later.
Did you pick Warrington or Kakachi?
I picked Warrington, to be fair. Yeah.
And you did. I
picked Boazzi, and this donut in the middle pick Willie Hutchinson. So yeah, should we go there? As well, we'll do that later. We'll do that
in a bit. Let's absolutely rummage into AJ Dubois first.
Listen, look, I've watched the fight back. One thing I'm never going to do again is do a post-fight review hanging out my arse and not watch the fight back. Because honestly, I watched it back.
They did 70,000 views.
I know, 70,000 people listening to me talking out my arse. It's fucking terrible. And I watched it back. I'm like, fuck, I don't remember it like this. So like the first round, it was quite even until he got knocked over towards the end. AJ landed a couple of half-decent shots. He did land an uppercut, John. You was right. It was kind of skimmed off him. It weren't flush, but he did land a shot, which I think was quite telling in how the fight panned out. Obviously, Daniel Dubois, he rushed him in the first sort of minute of that first round. It was a little bit like AJ was caught like a rabbit in the headlights a bit. But then he timed him. He slipped inside of AJ Dubois' jab, hit him with an overhand right on a temple. And I thought, wow, he caught him flush there. And Dubois just ate it up like Pac-Man, just ate it. Done nothing to him. And I think AJ must have thought, okay, right. You know when you land flush on someone and he got zero effect out of him. And I think that was a telling factor going into the next 2 or 3 rounds. After that, he was on his bike, didn't really want to engage. And mentally, I think that first shot that landed broke him. It broke him. And he just couldn't recover from it. Obviously, he landed that shot in the 5th. I mean, he didn't throw that many up. I said he didn't throw any uppercuts when we did that show the other day. Threw about 4 uppercuts. I counted them in the end. One was in the 1st round. Didn't throw another one till the 4th round. And he threw a couple in the 5th round, I think it was. Something like that. But yeah, I mean, look, I didn't give Daniel Dubois enough credit, and I regret saying all the stuff I said. Daniel Dubois was amazing. I just want to put that on paper now. He was incredible. And you was right, Unc. Mike Tyson-esque. Even the way he walked to the ring, the clobber that he had on, the look in his eye. Was it you? Was it? I can't remember it was. I told you I was lagging. I was lagging on that show.
I said that, didn't I? I'll take
you.
Unc.
He's trying to claim everything.
I guarantee it was me, but anyway, don't worry.
Fucking weren't. It was Unc. It was Unc.
Bullshit.
Sure it was. Anyway, it was just the manner in which he closed the distance. That jab he landed in the 1st round. Fucking hell, I've never seen a jab land like that for years. Literally rocked his head back. And then it was just that the theme of the fight continued on from there. And AJ just didn't know what to do with him. He just didn't know how to handle this ball, this angry, charged up ball, just rushing him every 2 minutes, winging hooks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to retract one thing I said in that show the other day is the defense was shocking. Standing up with your chin up in the air, almost like you weren't expecting. It's almost like he was shocked. It was a whole shock factor, wasn't it? Didn't expect any of this to be happening to him. But yeah, I honestly think that shot was a telling shot though in the 1st round, the one he landed and got 0 response out of Dubois. I think it just set the tone for the rest of the fight. But Dubois is a monster, absolute monster. He fights like that, he troubles everybody, including Usyk. I don't think he beats Usyk. Usyk's too clever. But I'd put him in there with Fury like that. Would you not?
Well, no one else fucking will.
Imagine he steams Fury like that. And starts winging.
We'll talk about this later, but no one else will put him in there with Fury other than you, Kai. Fucking Frank Warren's fobbed it right off.
Yeah, he has it. Doesn't want to know.
That is liberties.
It ain't down to him.
But he was awesome, Dubois. I'm more leaning on I was more leaning now on the side of Joshua was terrible. It's the worst Joshua I've seen, but Dubois made him like that. I think he broke his eye in that 1st round, and that was it from then. And I thought the cornering, we're going to come on to that, was shocking as well, by the way.
Yeah, well.
And Don Charles as well. I saw his interview today with Box Nation. Fascinating interview. 45 minutes. I was hooked, engrossed with what Don Charles was saying. And I'm glad I got that all out. You didn't interrupt me, boys, because I just wanted to give Daniel Dubois his props. I didn't do it properly in the last show. He was incredible, mate. Sky's the limit for him. Sky's the limit.
I've been telling you for a long time, man. He's got a solid chin. He's got a great chin. I've been telling you that.
But that, yeah, neither of us said that. Neither of us. I'll give Johnny B's credit there, to be fair. I know I'm ridiculing Johnny, but you still said AJ. You can't say I'd said this and that. You said AJ, so don't really count anything you said.
I was bullied into it.
You did say, got stick with your guns next time. No. You did say he had a good chin. Well,
go on, Sonny, go on, you talk, bruv, go on.
Yeah, I'm just going to say he's a new man, isn't he? And as much as Daniel's done that himself, you got to say 90% of the credit's got to go to Don Charles, man. Well, not 90%. Yeah. He's 50-50 in it. Like 50% Daniel's like, he's obviously sorted out his head. He's obviously sorted out his, his ability to go to the well. He's sorted out a lot of things, but Don Charles has taken him under his wing and transformed him, man. And I think Shane McGuigan's a phenomenal trainer, but in the same way that styles make fights, trainers make fighters, don't they? So, yeah, fair play to Don Charles. Sensational. What do you think of that interview this morning? I thought he was he was really good and interesting. It was a bit like a big fuck you to the world, but yeah, man, he had some harsh words for some people, didn't he?
Well, he's like, look, I've been here and done it. Ben Davison's done fuck all. Like, I've trained 5 British champions at different weight classes. Who is this little kid on the block now? Was basically what his little boying him off, really, wasn't he? Boying him off. And who's he thinking he can come in here and everyone thinks he's better than me? Nah, mate.
It's a harsh world because now, say what you want. If you people had these opinions before the fight, then fair enough to you. But yeah, the harsh part of Saturday night is now AJ is the most overhyped fighter ever. So you can agree with that or disagree with that. Ben Davison, bit of a fraud.
It's mental, isn't it?
We all had it. Yeah, we all had Dubois wrong all along.
Yeah.
In the sense that he wasn't a quitter, but circumstances landed him doing what he done against Joyce and Usyk. So, but
biggest hype job ever.
Biggest hype job ever. It's a very harsh, not reality for AJ, but a harsh, like what he's come up against afterwards. So,
but I think, have you watched the fight back, both of you? Have you heard any sort of shouting from the corner? I watched the fight back, but I couldn't hear the corner. Hopefully, telling AJ to keep his. He fought the fight with his hands here instead of here. These hooks are winging. These fast hooks. And Daniel Dubois fast jab, fast speed of foot, closing the distance ridiculously quicker than most heavyweights out there. And you're fighting with your hands down here. It's ridiculous. Yeah. You know, throwing the last uppercut with, you know, when you throw an uppercut, your hand's supposed to be up here to block the counter.
They was going for the uppercut. You could hear them say that. They said it multiple times. They was trying to counter with the uppercut. They was trying to counter him on the way in. As you say, they expected him to do that. I heard Ben Davison say that after, but he was saying in the corner, he's going off your feints. Every time Joshua was feinting, he was just going off these feints. But then I was listening to, I think it was in that Don Charles interview, he goes, how can you be a 2-time world champion and you can't block a jab? And he was like, there's feinting or there was throwing the jab. Then Joshua's going back, getting ready for that counter right, which he does, but they took it away from him because every time he did that, they just took another step back. Then he was out of range. And by the time Joshua sort of came in to get his range again, then they were just going and then they were just putting him on the back foot. But I just felt like Joshua was on the back foot, chin way up in the air. And then I heard Ben Davison say this in the corner, stop galloping around the ring. But when we done the preview after, I said that I felt like
galloping around the ring.
Just, you know, like just lateral movement. He's sort of going back and he's sort of circling to sort of get his range and then reset and then go again. But it was almost like it was almost a bit nonchalant. You know, like if you see a spar or you see a fight and you see one guy's a level above another guy, and when they transition in to throw something, you know, when the fighter just pulls out with their head up, moves around as in like, you got to do better than that. That's what I felt was Anthony Joshua's mindset. The way he pulled out when he got hit with that right hand, it was almost like, I don't know, he was moving around as in, you got to do better than that, son, if you want to hit me from that distance out. But it was just, he weren't switched on enough. He didn't have enough spider senses, in my opinion. There was no intent. Daniel Dubois, full of intent. He was a lion. He was pacing up and down. Like when, I'll get to the ring walk in a minute because I want to talk about it. But Anthony Joshua was just standing in his corner when the national anthems were on. He didn't really move from it. Yeah. And then Dubois going up and down. It's like you just look at the two fighters and then that's how the fight unfolded. It was someone was just waiting. I did say before, he's a thinking fighter, Anthony Joshua. I didn't think that was going to work with him. He's like trying to think his way through. When this guy we've got full intent, he's coming to take your fucking head off. So you got to make a decision. You got to stand and fight this guy. But I don't like Anthony Joshua's clinch. So for going back, chin up with your guard not above your feet. It's a better phrase than that. He was just going back with his chin up in the air. It's like move back with your feet. Or when he throws, where's the slips? Where was the slips? And then step in and then hold him.
Block the jab with your own jab hand. Block it with your backhand. It was just literally opening up. Go on, hit me. Like
his hands were too low, weren't they?
Ridiculous.
What you said there, John. Ridiculous. I mean, mate, a lot of people may say this doesn't matter and whatnot. I just find it very peculiar that AJ, you're right, in the ring, he was just standing there. Like, you normally think, you want to get pumped up, you know what I mean? Start moving at least, you know what I mean? But on top of that, he come in the venue about the time when Liam Gallagher was singing.
I know.
So,
ridiculous.
Did he do a warm-up prior? I don't know. But normally they're in there a good 2.5 hours before, 3 hours before, warming up and whatnot. So I'm not saying he was underprepared and whatnot because he was obviously more than prepared. I just found it strange. And, maybe there's something in that. But, anyway, not taking anything away from Dubois. Absolutely not. He was sensational. And maybe they were looking for the uppercut because he's always like that, Dubois, isn't he? He's always like that. So maybe there's a big gap there. And when he throws, you got even more of a gap in you. So they was probably looking for that uppercut all night, you bet your life. But what he did, Dubois, was he was double jabbing. So when he would double jab, normally someone jabs, well, lately, like Ngannou would jab and then he pulls it back and Joshua can come over the top. But Dubois was double jab. And so the second one, Joshua's like that and all sort of, it's just completely ameliorating his movements.
It's high as well, that jab. So then it's like, where's the body shot from AJ? Like, if you can't get that right over the top because it's too straight, where's the body shot? Let me just quickly get this out, though, right? Because what you just saying there is like all full credit to Daniel Dubois. But, I do feel sorry for Anthony Joshua. Like, all these people saying he should retire, everyone jumping on the bandwagon, like all the stuff they're coming out with. I just think to myself, will you not fucking entertain? That was an amazing fight. It's a quality fight. And let's be real, a couple of things I picked up on. I watched the fight back in its entirety last night. I watched all the ring walk and everything. In the pub, you just don't get to see it. You're chatting like too much, chatting bollocks, yeah. But so the couple of things I picked up on, everyone's saying about he was a rabbit in the headlights, Anthony Joshua walking in. I thought he was focused. He was just walking in. To me, this is my opinion. He just looked focused. And I just think when we've seen him walk in before, slapping hands with everyone and that, everyone's digged him in. This time, he don't do that. Digged him in, digged him out. This time, he's just walked straight in, just tunnel vision. So I think everyone's just going on that. In the fight, I thought what you just said, Kai, in the first round, until he got caught, that was like a bit sort of nip and tuck. Yeah, it was. A couple of exchanges, he got hit, but he threw his hands as well. The second round, he was there. But when he got caught and he hit the floor, was that the round where he touched down? That's a knockdown. You got a 10-second count.
Shocking, mate.
So, but after that, I counted it last night. Sorry, let me get this out. After that, the ref ain't stopped the fight. He receives 5 unanswered blows. So in the first round, he took that right hand. I said, talking about chins, I agree with whatever you two were saying. He has got a chin. To take that right hand and then to get it to the fifth, that might have knocked a lot of people out. Then he took five unanswered punches after it should have been. That's a mistake from the referee. No one's really talking about that. I think that was in the second round or the third round.
Yeah, and that would have done AJ a big favour if that had been a knockdown and it had stopped there and the referee started counting and Dubois couldn't hit him anymore. That would have done AJ a big favour because after that, he fucking pummels him on the floor. Do you see it? Like, he actually hit him after the bell as well, but it was like a millisecond. But when he went down, both hands touched the floor, come back up, and then Dubois just pummeled his head, so he was even more scrambled. He would have done him a right favour. Not saying he had won, but
for all the people in the comments, are you AJ Dick Riders and all that? All I'm saying is credit where credit's due, right? In terms of, I'm not saying Anthony Joshua's elite. I think he's Muhammad Ali, but in terms of British fighters that we've produced, look at the guys that he's fought. I know he's lost 4 fights now, but he's beat. Look at Joseph Parker, what he's doing now. So he beat Joseph Parker. We're just going to forget about that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's had big wins. Beat whatever Povetkin. He's won the world titles. He's whatever. Who's he beat? Anthony Joshua. He beat Povetkin.
Klitschko.
Who?
Klitschko,
whatever, Dillian White and that. So he's a top 10 guy. And I just think in that fight, there was even moments in that fight where you think, fucking hell, took 5 unanswered blow there. You took your digs. You're still throwing towards the end. So do I want to see that fight again? Fucking yeah. Do I want to see Anthony Joshua fight again? Yeah. Of course. 100%.
100%, yeah.
$1,000,000%, yeah.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. You can't really go for AJ without being called an AJ Dick Rider these days. But it is what it is, isn't it? Yeah, we're not AJ Dick Riders. I personally just thought AJ would win that fight. But, you know what I mean? You predict AJ against other people. Like, I don't think AJ beats Usyk. Do you know what I mean? I don't think... I think he'd give Fury a good fight. You know what I mean? So, anyway.
Does he win the rematch?
Do you know what? I'm glad there's not a contractual rematch. I think they can make it, but then try convincing Dubois he's got to take, he's got to be the B-side. He ain't going to be the B-side this time. So I don't know how that's going to play out. Don Charles ain't having that.
The worrying thing is, in that 5th round, AJ hit him with his best shot. That was AJ's best shot. And nobody will tell me any different. It was absolutely on the button, on the chin, fully loaded up. And Dubois wobbled a bit, but took it.
Yeah, man. But Sonny, you couple that with all the shots AJ took. AJ got hit clean 15 times in that fight, maybe 20. And it was only that last shot when it was on the chin that flattened him. But that's the first proper shot he landed flush. One in the first round I mentioned earlier landed as well. didn't get a response out. But that fifth round, I honestly believe if he would have been a bit more educated and not gun-ho, he could have taken it deeper. Because I said it before, Daniel Dubois exerted a lot of energy. Like, how much energy has he got? I know he's got a lot. We saw the Jarrell Miller fight. He went into the deep waters there and stopped him late. But he tried to get AJ out of there for 3 or 4 rounds and couldn't do it. So if AJ just didn't get greedy, you don't know what would have happened. I mean, look, he was half concussed. Maybe it wouldn't have made a difference. Maybe not. You'll never know. But that asterisk and that question mark might be the reason we'll get the rematch.
But do the Shane McGuigan thing now then. Go on.
I will. I'll go straight to the Shane McGuigan thing.
You're on that point.
Straight. So I don't mind. I didn't mind the instruction by Ben Davison and Lee Wiley because I thought the uppercut would be the telling shot in this fight. Just because Dubois does throw the double jab. And John, you said it in the preview. You said he throws a double jab and comes winging hooks in. So you said it. We all knew it before. I don't mind the instruction. I hated the way it was delivered. Roll the dice. I don't like that terminology. Roll the dice. Seems like you're in, pot luck. Close your eyes and fucking throw it and see what happens. Don't like that. Commit to the shot. Might have been a better way to put it. But roll the dice. It reminds me a bit like what Tundi told Anthony Yard. Empty the gas tank. It reminds me a bit like that. Didn't like roll the dice.
You'd have fucking loved it if he'd have knocked him out in that round, though, wouldn't you?
I'm saying this is Sunday. Was it Monday morning quarterback?
Shane McGuigan's come away as a hero there, because what he said was bang on, spot on there. If you're upright, you throw the uppercut, you're going to be open to a short right. But it wasn't that what happened. So AJ didn't slip at Dubois' double jab and come up with an uppercut, didn't get counted. He just threw a stupid uppercut out of range. You should be inside at least to throw an uppercut, or mid-range or close quarters to throw an uppercut. Tried to throw it from kind of slightly out of range and with his backhand not covering the other side of his face. Just fundamental errors that caused him to get knocked out. So while Shane McGuigan's right, I don't think it applied in that instance when he got knocked out because he wasn't slipping the jab. He wasn't slipping the jab, right? That's what I think. But he was right.
I mean, it's a tough one. It's all in hindsight because if AJ had knocked him out there, everyone would be saying Ben Davison's the greatest trainer who ever lived because he was down and out AJ. And then if AJ had got the knockout there after he'd been told to roll the dice and hit him with an uppercut, because he went for the uppercut, if it had landed, Ben Davison's the greatest trainer ever and AJ's given us one of the greatest fights ever, and he's a legend of the sport, and that'll never be forgotten. But it didn't go like that. So, yes, Shane McGuigan is absolutely right because exactly what he said had happened. But I'm in a funny one with that.
It was I didn't say that a minute ago. The timing of the instruction was wrong. Don't.
What do you mean?
I've thrown an uppercut. Shane McGuigan was spot on.
What did Shane McGuigan say exactly? Do you know what he said exactly?
He said it's dangerous if you slip the double jab.
So no, sorry. Say what Ben Davison said, and then you know what Ben Davison said.
I thought Ben Davison said slip the jab and drive it up, which means drive up the uppercut. Slip the jab and drive up the uppercut. And then Lee Wiley chimed in, went, yeah, roll the dice, slip it and come up with the uppercut. That's what I heard him say. So I was throwing the jab, but the shot that finished wasn't a slip of the jab and then he got caught like Shane McGuigan said. It was just a silly uppercut thrown from out of range. But Shane McGuigan's right. It's a dangerous shot to throw. You slip the jab, coming up with the uppercut, you are susceptible to a short right. So Shane McGuigan's right. It just didn't play out that way. But I just think regardless of all of that, what Ben Davison said and the timing of it was wrong. What he said after Shane McGuigan was even more on the money. I would have just kept my hands up, gone another couple of rounds and used my athleticism in the back end of the fight. That would have been, for me, the better instruction. Don't get fucking caught. Don't do anything silly. If you land something big, don't get greedy. That should have been the instruction. Right?
Brilliant TV or radio, because the way that all panned out, it was amazing. But when he hit him with that right hand, he sort of stepped forward, threw the left hook. But if you noticed, Anthony Joshua slips on the canvas. We can get to that later as well, because a lot of fighters throughout the night were slipping on that canvas. I've seen all the fights back, by the way, yeah? So as he throws that left hook, he sort of slips a little bit. He gathers his feet, then he sort of steps in with the left. Then he comes up with a right. But it was, and I thought that's what he said, step in with the left and then just come up with a right uppercut. And then that's when Shane McGuigan said, no, I don't think that's right. I think you're going to get caught with a short right.
Oh, you thought he said jab and then come up with the uppercut?
Hold on.
Let's listen in to Ben Davison giving instructions to Anthony Joshua.
That's what it's about. We get through this. Warrior spirit. 100%. But we got to be smart.
Yeah, I am.
With Rush stepping in with the jab almost every time, unless you're galloping around. Slip and bring it up. Yeah?
If there's a bit of a lull, in behind that double jab, bring it up, roll the dice, he'll double under the right hand, lift it, yeah?
Roll the dice. Double in his eyes, bring it up.
I think that's dangerous advice there, to be honest. I mean, getting him to bring it up off the double jab. Daniel throws that right hand straight off that double jab. And by bringing it up, he means an uppercut. He's going to walk himself straight onto his short right hand. If you ask me, I'd just say keep your hands up tight, get through these next 2 rounds, and then use your athleticism late down the stretch.
So is he not saying slip Daniel Dubois' double jab?
Yeah, that's one point.
Saying.
Yeah.
No, but the other guy's saying the double jab and then come up with a right. And I think once you got him hit with it, you heard that at the end, no?
Yeah, but I thought that means slip the Dubois jab, not throw your own double jab.
Okay, well,
Fuck
I
knows.
don't know. How I
One of
took
us is right.
It didn't fucking work either way.
It don't really matter, mate. It don't really matter because they've both just said what we've said. One saying slip the jab and come up with the uppercut. The other one saying double jab and come up with the uppercut. So what you just saying? Slip the jab, then the double jab.
I thought the instruction was slip the Dubois double jab or slip the jab and then come up with the uppercut, which is what he did a few times and missed. Caught him nearly once, but that was the whole thing. Slip the uppercut and come up with the slip the jab and come up with the uppercut. But then Shane McGuigan's right. If you come up with the uppercut, you're going to leave yourself open to a short.
Yeah. So right. So amazing, whatever radio or TV. But I just thought to myself, once he threw that right hand, he steps in with a left hook. He sort of slips as he hits him, but then that next phase of attack where he goes into Dubois. I didn't even think the fucking uppercut was there. I didn't even really see Dubois leaning over. He was almost more leaning back, wasn't he? Up against the ropes. And then Joshua sort of just puts his hand down to fight that uppercut. I didn't even really feel like it was there. And then
it wasn't there.
Ben Davison said, in behind that double jab, I've just watched it there, in behind that double jab, bring the uppercut up. I think he's talking about Dubois. So he's talking about Dubois' double jab.
So it was that. Yeah, I thought it might
in
be.
behind, so in behind and up.
Because it makes no sense to do Joshua throwing a double jab and then come with an upper. That makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely what Dubois.
To slip the thing and come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, I agree with what you say. I just think to myself, like, I thought he was Joshua, like, I don't know, like, could he weather another 2 rounds? To me, it was just like, it was roll the dice time. Like, as soon, like, you got to remember, he's getting pinged around.
I agree.
Let me get this out. He's getting sort of pinged around. He's been dropped. He's taking heavy blows off him. He's blowing a gasket in the corner sitting there. He's breathing really heavy. So they're saying roll the dice. So in my mind, that's like, if you hit him and you push him back and you hit him with something significant, go for it. Go for the kill. So he's hit him. So it's the first time he really properly hit him and sent Dubois back. It was a big shot. So what, at that point, he's probably thinking, if I missed that opportunity, remember Klitschko did that to Joshua and he hit Joshua and he stayed off, didn't he? And that was his big thing that he said after that fight. I wish I would have put my foot down. So when he's got him hurt there in the corner, I think it was just the wrong shot selection, but I think he was right just to fucking go for it, man. And I
be defensively responsible, though.
No matter what.
Be defensively responsible.
Yeah, that's what he did ultimately wrong, wasn't it? He threw the uppercut without keeping his hand up there or whatever. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I never boxed, but from what I've seen, they're either doing it there or they're there, aren't they, when they throw like that? So, but like I say, if it had worked, they'd be absolute legends of the sport. Tough one. But let's get on to the next part of what happened on the weekend. What now? So we just talked about the rematch there. Right. Kai, do you want to see it? More than anything else?
I'd love to see it. I don't know if it's wise for Joshua. I'd love to see it, though. I ain't going to want to see that again because I think it's more of the same.
Do you want to see it over any other fight for both of them?
No. For Joshua, I don't think he can take another fight. Who's he going to fight now? You're not going to feed him to Bacoli. He's not going to go down a level. This is it. This is shit or bust for him now.
John?
You try and make this fight and this is it. You either win and move on or you lose and retire. And that's really the top and bottom of it for me.
Yeah, I think they're going to probably take the fight again. I think that is probably the fight to take. But Eddie Hearn keeps saying, "Oh, let's see what happens December the 21st, Usyk Fury." If Fury loses to Usyk and they ain't made a Dubois fight, I mean that's the time. We might not ever see that fight if they don't make that fight. So for me, as much as I'd love to see that rematch, Dubois AJ, like who wouldn't? For me, let's just do the Fury fight. For me, how I'm looking at this whole thing at the moment, the heavyweight division is alive and kicking. You've got Turkey out of shake there. He's putting all these fights on. He's getting all these guys to fight each other. Guess what? They're going to lose. Fury fucking lost. Do you know what I mean? For the first time. Anthony Joshua just lost there to Dubois. Wilder's lost. Fucking Zhang's lost. They're all going to fucking lose if they keep fighting each other. These are heavyweights. So throw Joshua in with Tyson Fury and fuck the zeros. Fuck the losses on the records. Just, was you entertained on the night? All the trolls out there digging people out, you was all fucking entertained on the night and you was thinking about it all weekend after, and that's where the buck stops. That's it. I'm entertained, but I would vote for Fury v Joshua if Fury loses to Usyk.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I never thought of that. Yeah, it's wise, isn't it, to wait until December and then make a decision from there. I want to see it again, but as I said in the video I made, I want to also see Dubois go on to other things, because had the roles been reversed, he wouldn't have got a rematch. Dubois wouldn't have got a rematch. So morally, I don't think it's right, but I'd love to see it again, I've got to be honest.
Right, let me ask you this then, because I watched the Eddie Hearn interview the other day and then Wilder's name come up. So I was thinking to myself, if you look at Anthony Joshua's record, if he goes and loses to Tyson Fury, I don't know, or if he doesn't fight Tyson Fury, like people say, you never fought Tyson Fury, you never fought Wilder. Wilder's sort of coming off of a loss. Joshua's coming off of a loss. If you got to wait till December the 21st for Tyson Fury, then fuck knows what Tyson Fury would do after that. Is there a big cut in that fight? He's a bit unpredictable, Tyson Fury. Could they avoid Dubois? Because Dubois is going to be a massive handful. And if you're looking at percentages, AJ's got more of a percentage of fighting Wilder. It's a big name, the narrative, big heavy punches. They could probably sell it. Is that a fight they squeeze in before a Fury or a Dubois? Would you want to see that?
Mate, I'd want to see them all.
I want to see them all. Yeah. I don't really give a fuck who he fights. I just want to see him fight. I don't give a shit if AJ was overhyped, whatever. He carried, like people say, he carried British boxing and whatnot, and now he's lost all that. I don't really care. He's a boxer at the end of the day. I want to watch boxers because I want to see him in great fights. That was an amazing fight on Saturday. I want to see more of that. So, I honestly, I mean, no offense to anyone who thinks that AJ should retire, but I do think you need to give your head a wobble, because he's only 35. He didn't look good on Saturday, but he looked mustard against Wallin. He looked mustard against Ngannou. Okay, say what you want about them, but still, he's a good fighter. He's going to be in cracking fights, and there's plenty of people he can still beat. He could beat Wilder, man. I know Wilder could fucking smash him with one right hand, but that's all Wilder's got. So I would favour AJ in that fight. I want to see AJ against Piccoli. I want to see AJ against Zhang. I don't think it's going to happen, but I want to see these fights. And he's got a chance at winning them all. I'm not saying he will. He's got a chance of winning them all. Other than Usyk.
Yeah. I look, Fury beats Usyk. That fight's gone forever, by the way. He'll never fight AJ.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
That fight's gone. So you want Usyk to win that fight if you ever want to see AJ Fury. Yeah, listen, all those things you just said, Unk. AJ versus Piccoli in Africa. How big is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Massive Riyadh
event. Season in Africa.
Yeah, massive, huge. So yeah, you don't want him. I don't want him retiring. He's already come out and said as well, and you got to hand it to him. Geezer got pummeled from pillar to post, and he's still standing there doing interviews. Whereas other fighters, mention no names, just scarper off.
Why do people why do people go like moan about boxing and want great fights, and then someone loses and they go, "Oh, you got to retire."
Yeah, you're shit.
Because you're shit. So you don't want to see him fight again, even though he gave us the most exciting fight, like in however long.
Yeah,
like I don't understand the mindset of it sometimes.
And these fighters, like, how personal is it? Like they all the training camp, like all the media, and then they get to that night, they get into the ring in front of thousands of people, they put it all on the line, they get knocked out or they win. It's like such an emotional, personal thing. It's like, you're shit, you should have never played. You know, you think, what the fuck? What the fuck? Especially when people come to fight and like, you know, and Anthony Joshua is in it. He is in it in exciting fights. But I think people, the consensus what I get is people like, he was just a hype job. But I don't know who was saying he was elite apart from Eddie Hearn.
Who cares, man? Like, think about it. They're all making history right now. In the history books, we're going to look back at that fight and go, wow, what a night that was. We'll look back at Fury Usyk, we go, wow, what a night that was. Fury Wilders, Joshua Klitschko. So have more fights like this. Unless AJ wants to retire, fine. He's made enough money and whatnot. If he don't think he can ever get to that world title, that third world title, and that's all that matters to him, then yes, if you lost the flame, give up. But if you ain't lost the flame and you still want to be in great fights and you still want to give people memorable nights, which I hope he feels that way, do it. Fight Bacoli, Zhang, Wilder, whoever. It doesn't matter.
It's that shot he landed in the fifth. He'll not.
And he probably is.
He will not stop thinking about that now for months, and he'll want to run it back. And I don't know how much money he's going to want. Yeah, he will think it because he'll know he can't have fought any worse, and his defense was terrible, and there's so many things he can do better to nullify what Dubois done. Not saying he can beat him because Dubois was electric. The jab, I mean, even if you're trying to defend the jab, you know, it's just so accurate and so fast. You know, you've got to try and throw your own shot. So it's easy for us to sit here and go defend the jab, but you're trying to get your own work off, and the other fighter's trying to time you and, you know, land their own jab. It's so difficult when you've got someone with that speed.
Do you agree now, though, that going into the rematch, that like, when Dubois is throwing a jab, it's full of intent, it's full of menace. It's like, I'm fucking here to mean business. I'm going to throw this jab down your throat, and then I'm having a fucking look, and I'm all switched on. There is no other way to fight Dubois other than that, for me, being Anthony Joshua. I just feel like throwing out that soft jab and trying to have a little look and all that. No, I don't think you can do that going into the rematch. No,
not that, but what you can do is make it a lot messier, John.
Yeah.
A lot messier.
Step to him.
His clinch was terrible. I think you said that earlier. Clinch was terrible. He was up in the air when he was clinching, opening himself up to like hooks within the clinch. Like his clinch was terrible. Everything was terrible. He could have made it a lot messier. And even when he jabbed and he landed a few jabs, Joshua, in rounds 2 and 3, he popped Dubois' head back. There's nothing after the jab. It was nothing. It was
middleweight jabs. Middleweight jabs compared to Dubois, man.
Like, honestly, it's like he basically took his heart and broke it, and that's what happened in that ring. So, yeah, we'll move on.
What a man, Daniel Dubois.
So have we done with Don Charles? Because I just want to know, who stole his fucking dinner money the next day, man? You know, you think you've just won like the world title, like you wronged all the haters and that. The next day, he was fucking angry in that interview, wasn't he?
Don Charles, though, isn't it? He does interviews like that.
He said a lot of good stuff in there, but I love Don Charles. I'm just going to say that when Dubois lost to Usyk, he said some rough stuff then. Like he was calling Usyk a cheat and a scumbag and whatnot. And maybe that's his opinion and whatnot. But he doesn't always get it right, is what I'm saying. But he seemed angry in that interview. Didn't want to talk about Spencer Fearon, I know that. And
Spencer Fearon stuck out a little tweet showing you when Don Charles said that he connected him and Dubois' dad. And
really?
And then saying, I can't remember what he said, saying something like, let's not forget that. But obviously they've got a little bit of beef going. But then, Don Charles was saying Anthony Joshua's a liar. I never met him at a petrol station. Wasn't me who told him to leave the gym. It was Chisora. Now Chisora's your little cheerleader. What those guys have done to me, what they've done to me. I feel fucking hell, man. He's holding on some shit, man. Just I'm
going to throw something out there. Actually, just on Don Charles, I remember when they lost to Usyk and someone interviewed him. Might have been Umar. And he went, what do you say to anyone who says that Daniel Dubois quit in that fight?
Oh, yeah.
If I see them, I'm going to punch them in the face.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I'm
Really? Well, I never said Daniel Dubois quit. I think he's got heart of stone, and I think he did quit in that fight.
But let me ask you this then. Does Anthony Joshua stick with Ben Davison and Lee Wiley? Or does he?
It's too late in his career to change.
Does he pick the phone up to Shane McGuigan, who trained Daniel Dubois for years, knows everything about Daniel Dubois? Go, listen, I need you for this fight. I'm sure Shane, because Daniel Dubois left him Shane might be thinking, you know what, you left me. Maybe I will help you out in this fight. And it's a lot of money on the line for Shane, so I'm sure Shane ain't going to turn that gig down.
Shane has always been sniffing around low AJ, isn't he? Every interview.
It's a good matchup for the rematch. I mean, you can't pick a better coach, someone who's worked with Dubois.
You're such a fucking Monday morning quarterback, boy.
But it's true.
Ben was like Hall of Famer, fucking top trainer in the universe. Now all of a sudden, fucking out he goes, Shane McGuigan in.
But for this fight, it's a perfect matchup. It's a perfect matchup.
Mate, look, I don't know.
I'm throwing it out there.
He ain't going nowhere. He's happy as Larry in that camp. I know he's lost his fight, but everyone's been talking about how much of a better AJ we're seeing. I think at the end of the day, he's going to go home and he's going to go, fucking hell. If he hadn't caught me with that one right hand in the first round and then scrambled my senses and made me fight like a complete and utter fucking amateur after that, I'd have probably been all right. So I think he's looking at it like I made one massive mistake and then I made mistake after that. But I think it stemmed from that myself.
Shades of the Ruiz, isn't it? Shades of Andy Ruiz.
Shades of Ruiz, yeah. That first punch was probably the best punch that Daniel Dubois will ever throw. Never mind the knockout. That punch come from absolutely nowhere. He looked like he was out of range. Joshua was moving away from him. He was on the ropes and whatnot. And this punch come fucking over all the way from fucking Scotland and cracked him right on the chin. And then the whole fight was done. I think we all looked at it and went, well, that's it now.
What's a Monday morning quarterback?
Do you know what? It's a term they use in the NFL. It's like, you know, after the NFL.
It's a backseat driver.
You know, like Monday morning, it's like with hindsight, everyone's got all the great ideas after the
do you watch NFL football and all that, yeah?
I don't know. It's a phrase, isn't it, I've picked up. But, what I was going to say is, I would not be leaving Ben Davison. I think he's a brilliant trainer. That's my opinion. I've always liked him, even though I got loads of stick one day when I said that out on Twitter. But I just think, but what I do want to know, you two might know, did you see Ben Davison like really trying to like motivate Anthony Joshua as in like, come on, like fucking do, like, you know, like the Teddy Atlas fireman speech.
I've never seen him do that.
Let me just get this out, because with Dubois, he was like on the ring walk, he was going, yeah, he was like, did you see, I was watching the ring walk last night, he was screaming and doing the ring walk. I'm thinking, fucking hell. When Joshua was doing the ring walk, as much as he was focused and switched on, in my opinion, Eddie Hearn was screaming a bit behind him, let's fucking have it and that. And I see Don Charles do something similar like that with Dubois. I think that the dad was shouting some stuff out around Anthony Joshua. I think that is what he needed. Regardless of tactics, I know the hands were low, he's coming back with his head out. I think he needed like, fucking switch on. He needed that. He needed his spider senses. That's what he needs, in my opinion. But no, I won't believe it.
So just back to it, I personally think he should go and have this camp with Shane McGuigan if they take the rematch. Who's a better trainer? Who's got a better resume, Shane McGuigan or Ben Davison?
Oh, yeah, no, don't.
It's a tough question, right? So, not that straightforward to answer. Who's got a better resume?
I was going to go straight for Shane McGuigan, but if you think about Lee Wood and then you think about who else Ben got? He's had everyone at the minute, isn't he? In terms of world titles, Shane McGuigan's more so, isn't he?
Well, he's Chris Billum
George
Smith.
Groves, Billum Smith.
George Groves, David A. didn't last long, did it?
Lawrence Okoli won the world title with Lawrence Okoli.
Oh, there you go. Then Shane McGuigan, then hands down.
You both want him to leave Ben
People
Davison,
are probably screaming at us now
not,
saying you shouldn't have even had to think about that.
Joshua don't owe no one fuck all. He should do what's best for him. He don't owe Ben Davison nothing. He's been with him for 2-3 camps. If he feels like that's a better fit, then move over. Shane McGuigan's in South London. He ain't got to travel far. Like, just move over then. You ain't got, just got to do what's best for you. And I feel like the information he's going to have on Dubois will far supersede anything Ben Davison might be able to give. I don't care how many tapes you've watched. He trained him inside and out for years, Daniel Dubois. So
he's got his sister there. What, is she going to be happy? Now you've got Anthony Joshua.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, forgot about that. But listen, you can't blame him for that's fucking millions of quid there. That is worth a couple of million to Shane McGuigan, isn't it?
Oh, you can do one. Karen Dubois ain't going to give him that.
Exactly. So I'll be like, you know what? This is business. Business is business. He wants me to train him for this camp.
I don't think it'll happen personally. I just think
he should,
I think Maybe, but I
I
think
think he should.
who knows what the tactics were. But if Joshua went in there and was supposed to do Ben's tactics, and then he made a mistake on his end, he's got to come back and say that was my fault, only myself to blame. But if he went in there and done everything that Ben said, if Ben said, oh, by the way, AJ, when a big punch comes over from another country, just look back like that and don't react to it and let it fucking clock you on the chin. If Ben said that, then yeah, get out of there. But no, I think you'll stay with Ben.
Yeah, with Don Charles, isn't it? Like, who are you? You only come yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. About calling this film study. We used to just watch tape. Film study. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah.
It wasn't a fucking petrol station.
That was fascinating radio, even though it sounds like I got it wrong. But the fact that the way he called that and it panned out like that.
I don't know. G-Man thinks he said what you said, John. I watched G-Man's video on it yesterday. He seems to think that he said Joshua throw the double jab and throw the right uppercut off of it.
I thought it was once he got him hit, I just thought follow up with a jab, put him back, and then just come up with the uppercut. That's what I thought I heard him say. It's irrelevant, don't really matter. Either way, he's telling him to come up with that uppercut, and Shane McGuigan sort of called it as in, no, that's the wrong move. You're going to get caught with a short hook, and it just literally panned out, didn't it? Exactly like that.
Well, not exactly, but yeah, kind of.
How's that not exactly?
Because I thought the instruction was to slip the jab and throw the uppercut, going round in circles here. There was no jab thrown in that corner. He just threw the uppercut from out of range. Wrong choice. Hand was down. He didn't try to slip anything. He caught Dubois and had him going backwards, then threw the uppercut. It was a stupid choice of shot. So while Shane McGuigan was right, it just didn't play out that way.
Oh,
yeah.
You might want to edit all that out, fucking going around in circles, murdering people's heroes.
Right. I've got a question then. Or not a question, a gripe. Frank Warren has fobbed off Fury versus Dubois. I can't make that fight. Why? I know you don't. I understand the promotional aspect of it. You don't want to put your best fighter with your second best fighter or whatever, because one of them's going to lose, and that's not good for your money. But we're not in that space anymore. Like, we've got such a good thing going on with boxing. Let the best fight the best on Riyadh season cards, on Saudi cards. If Fury loses to Usyk and AJ somehow gets tied up with Wilder, Fury Dubois. Why not? I know we talk about Dubois Parker, but why not? What? Why not? It's such a good fight. I can only think he doesn't want one of them to lose, but
I want the 10% off each fighter.
Does good promoters do that though? Stick their two premium fighters in the ring together. They don't tend to do that.
But I'm saying we're past that, Kaya.
I know.
We're on turkey time now,
mate. I agree with you. Fucking bring me that fight today, tomorrow, twice on a Sunday. I don't care. Yeah. I'd love to.
Who wins that fight then?
Dubois.
Wow. It's boxing is the most fascinating sport in the world. You know that.
If you'd have asked me last week, I'd have said Fury.
You'd have said Fury. Imagine a year ago, though, someone saying that Dubois beats Fury. Not happening.
No.
When you say that, I get it. I'm like, I get it. I can see where you might find that from.
That big target he's got to aim at. That speed of foot.
Dubois could beat any heavyweight. Any heavyweight out there he could beat. Do I think he beat Tyson Fury? I don't think he does.
Fury's better at the dark arts, though, the tangling of the arms and draining his opponent. And Joshua just does not know how to do that. He doesn't have a clue on how to fucking make the fight messy and take it later on into the sort of deeper waters. He just doesn't have a clue.
I'm still leaning towards Fury, but I'm scared to write off Dubois anymore because I keep fucking writing him off. Do you know what I mean? I'll keep going. Whoever he fights, the other geezer's going to win. And I keep getting it wrong.
Exciting
so I don't know.
Man. Lucky to have him in the mix, to be honest, boys, because it was getting a bit boring, all this Joshua Fury and Usyk talk. That's all it was. Wilder's gone. Now you need someone else in the mix, and it's him. And he's only 27 years old. You know, he'll be there for the next crop, Dubois. Once all this lot have retired, he'll still be there. Probably might even be the top of the tree. He's going to be the man to beat.
Was in your opinion, The way that he fought AJ, was that a completely different version to the Dubois that fought Usyk? Because if not, how fucking good is Usyk? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I thought he was more aggressive against AJ.
I think he was a bit more aggressive, but still, Usyk just won every round and nullified everything that he did. Like, how good's Usyk? Fuck me.
100%.
Man's incredible, isn't he?
Yeah, another level, mate. He won't lose.
His fitness levels and feet and his way around the ring. And as you say, talking about tying up, look at the size of Usyk. It's a fucking skill. Like, if you throw Sank and he slips and he comes in close, he knows how to tie an opponent up. He knows the contours of the body. He knows exactly where to put himself so you can't hit him when you're in the clinch. Then when it breaks, he's got the fitness, the stamina to just keep moving around the ring.
And when a big shot's coming towards him, he's so good at defending it. He almost curls up into a ball, doesn't he? He goes like that. And there's just nothing can get to his head. So
he's Usyk is my favourite boxer in and out of the ring, I think, without a doubt.
Yeah, he's
the way he holds himself, he believes everything about him inside the ring. See him
do that McGregor walk.
The way, funny guy.
Oh, fucking amazing. Man. Right, anything else on AJ that anyone wants to get off their chest?
No, that's it. All done, mate. I'm glad we got to do this again because I weren't really happy with the way we did that video the next day.
We shouldn't have got so fucking tanked up then, should you?
I know. I was all right for the first fucking couple of fights, watching Josh Kelly and that. By the time that come on, I don't know how many beers in I was. But,
I almost don't feel I'm coming out again to watch the boxing. I've watched all the fights since, and you're like, I fucking don't even remember them going down like this.
Didn't remember half of it. I don't remember that shot. Don't remember that jab. Don't remember that. Don't even remember what he did on the ring walk. Don't remember fuck all.
Nothing.
Sitting there going, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think this happened and that happened.
Yeah.